Welcome to episode 105 of Nobody Special.
This week we talk about Doom, the movie Angel, and the destruction of innocence.
The Gospel Outpost presents Nobody Special. Hey everyone, welcome to Nobody Special, two Nobodies talking about the somebody who matters. I'm Danny, the host and background MIDI track of Nobody Special.
And I'm Caleb, you're the host of Nobody Special. This is a podcast where two generations of people talk about God, pop culture, politics, and everything in between, all while not taking any of it too seriously.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for on audio and YouTube, and for ringing the bell, and for subscribing, and for then going to Spotify and doing that, and for sending emails. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did all of that. Wow.
No, okay, Caleb, we typically plan for like 5 minutes of banter at the beginning of every show.
Typically it's about 30 minutes.
About 30, yeah, about 30. And plan, actually, is not the right word either.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things, and I want to keep this as short as I can, just because we have a lot to talk about today that I'm actually really excited to talk about.
Yes.
But a couple of things. First, we just had good old kind of Super Tuesday, where the Democrats, it's not official yet, but and this may not age well, Biden's going to be the candidate. And I think Bernie is upset because Bernie worked hard for those delegates. He put in a lot of effort, and to just have them taken from him and given to just someone else who didn't earn it. And then how unfair that is. You know, I think Bernie's upset about that because that was his idea first.
Got him.
Sorry, I wanted to make a Bernie Sanders joke. It's
been burning inside of us.
This is
No one.
This
Okay.
is this. I will say, before the podcast, Caleb and I did talk politics because, as of this point, we've still agreed to not talk about it on the show yet, right?
Mainly me, just because I hate politics.
Yeah. I will say the point of agreement that both of us do have. We have a lot of points of agreement. No.
Whoa.
No. There's a lot of points of agreement, but
he just mouthed no for all of you listeners.
I'd say the major point of agreement is neither of us are looking forward to voting in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same as last year. Although I didn't have to vote last year because I wasn't of age.
It was actually I was so stressed out in the booth. I voted wrong. I sat there staring at the presidential ballot, and I know who I was going to vote for, and it just didn't feel good. And then I just panicked, and I bubbled, and then I just panicked, and as I was going through everything else, I bubbled in every bubble for 2 columns, and I was like, well, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how voting works. So I had to go up to the...
Does it write in? Harambe.
wonderful old people and say, hi, I'm an idiot, and I bubbled every bubble on the sheet. And they're like, yeah, we've gotten a lot of that today. People be stressed. I'm like... So, no, we're not super excited about that, but we'll talk about that on another episode. Caleb, there's a video game called Doom coming out, and I gotta tell you...
Another one?
Yeah, well, I watch a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube.
He does.
I'll be honest.
Let me just tell you, every time I walk into Danny's apartment, there's always a YouTube video of Let's Plays on. Doesn't matter who it's from. It's just always like someone playing something. And you can't deny that.
It's usually one of 3 people. It's very specific who it is.
It's either
Game
Grumps,
we don't need to go there.
Brown Man, or Foxy something. Fox and something.
Oh, Des and Fox.
Des and Fox.
Des and Fox, I actually know them through a Christian group. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Des and Fox, check them out on YouTube.
What Christian group? Shout them out.
From Love Thy Nerd. I did a few articles for them.
Nice.
I kind of found them through them. Dude, go check out Des and Fox. They're just doing gaming playthroughs and are really cool people. So they don't know I'm doing this. Not an ad, whatever.
Yeah.
But man, everyone's playing Doom. And so it's because the new Doom game, I think, is coming out in about I think it's in a couple of days. I'm not sure.
What is the name of it?
Doom, the Doomening.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, I was about to
No,
say. Like,
that's-
it's almost so dumb that, like...
Doom, the
I
Redooming.
think that
yeah.
it could be a Doom
Yeah.
title.
So the premise of the first game, because everyone's been playing all the old games that go back to like the early 90s, because it was an iconic FPS that kind of you play a guy who I think his name is Doom Guy.
Doom Guy.
At a minimum for the first game, and the whole thing is the plot's kind of... There's a moon base and you're killing demons, and they don't really explain that. So the controversy came up in Christian circles of, is this a thing Christians should be playing?
Yes.
It feels very demonic. And to be fair, this is because it is. And the creator of it actually, he defends the game because I think he's a devout Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
Quasi-devout Mormon? I don't know. He defended it by saying, I'm not sure what they're talking about. From my perspective, it has a very strong anti-demon message, and I'm like,
I would agree with that.
I
would
kinda
100% agree. That it is not endorsing demons at all, even though, like, demons in that sense are just... Like, you're killing demons. Who doesn't want to kill demons?
Well, first of all, the way I play that game, it does seem to endorse the demons as being way better than me. The amount of game overs I had, and they kind of depicted them as having this massive unlimited power, and that it's up to us to fight the demons. And
obviously, it's not realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it is a video game.
We gotta take some realism off the story of video games sometimes. That obviously there aren't these giant demon monsters running around that we have to kill. But there are demons.
Right.
I mean, like, I'm not denying there are
Hold on.
demons.
I'm thinking through all the words you said.
I've heard that they're giant. But I'm saying, like, in our realm, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
sure, they can be in our dimension, if you want to say that. But, like, I have...
Right.
I'm not even going to go there. But anyways,
now
like...
the from a biblical standpoint, because I do believe demons are actually a thing. I'm not the people that say demons are just our own struggles internalized or something. No, that's not real.
Yep.
Demons are a thing, period. But I'm not going to go so far as to say it's our duty to fight them. The Bible's actually very clear. Cast them out and keep focusing on God.
Yeah, it's not the focus. You have the power over them in every sense of that.
Yeah, but a moment it becomes to, I have to battle the demons, then I've taken my eyes off Christ. They actually had this problem, and this is why it takes us 30 minutes for banter. At a point, they had the International Houses of Prayer. They had to, this is not a joke, and I don't have the article and I can try and find it. They had to ban people from coming in with samurai swords because they'd have these long extended worship times that they'd be bringing swords to fight off the demons. So, a couple of things.
That's funny.
If you're going into a place and it's so overwhelmed by demons that you have to consider arming up...
Physically, yeah.
I'm just saying maybe don't go in there. Like, you know what I mean?
Now, demons, I will say... You can believe me or not, I don't give two craps, but... Poops. Sorry about that. Sorry about my language there.
Man.
But I have seen a demon before. I've always been spiritually sensitive, if that's a term. And, like, yeah. So it's definitely a thing.
But have at any
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Any point in that did the thought occur to grab the double-barrel shotgun and go demon hunting?
Oh, no, I was terrified.
Yeah.
No.
So cast them out in Jesus' name and move on with children.
I was younger,
day,
and I wasn't fully settled in, I would say, my identity in Christ yet.
Right.
So the fear of demons was 100% higher than it was now, which is 0%.
Right.
And like, yeah, they're real. Let me just give you a heads up.
Yeah.
You may not see them.
Right.
But like, yeah. It's pretty spooky.
Yeah. But for the video game, this kind of brings up the age-old question: is this a game Christians need to be playing or need to just abstain from? And that is our question of the week. We're not actually going to talk about that today.
Yeah.
You are. So in the comments on either our YouTube page, Instagram, Facebook, or anything else, or send us an email. We don't really care. Give us thoughts on that. And if enough thoughts come in, then Caleb and I will talk about it.
Yeah.
Is this a game that Christians are okay to play, or is this past that threshold of this isn't good for our faith? And also, where is that threshold? Because I do think there is a threshold.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of games that are spiritually dangerous to play. I can think of them, but I don't even want to name them because then you'll go look them up. So I do think that threshold is there, but I think people question as to where they draw the spacing on that. So give us a comment on either the Facebook, Instagram page, anything else.
Do it.
DMs, all that. We will take time and think about it and get back to y'all.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of demons, Caleb, we watched a movie the other day.
Is it opposite day, Danny?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing.
I'm trying to make a transition. I'm not as good as you are. Gosh, fine, Danny.
I was gonna I was gonna do this point, but like later. But we'll get there. Caleb, I made you watch a movie. I think is the best way to put this.
Yes.
So I found this movie for reasons that have become apparent. But there's a Christian movie called Angel, starring Ricky Garcia and Erwin McManus. Erwin McManus had 2 minutes, so I feel like he's getting top billed unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And Caleb, can you please read the official synopsis of the movie presented in quotations?
Yes.
We are not making this
Gladly.
up, nor are we making a joke of it.
Yep.
We're just throwing it out there, and then we want to talk about this movie.
A homeless Latino kid in East LA must face the devil and his demons as he performs miracles to save the local community. And no, ladies and gentlemen, this is not on, I forgot the Christian streaming platform.
Pureflix.
Pureflix.
No, Pureflix, there's no way they would host this one.
Yep.
So overall, and I'll get into that in a minute. Overall, Caleb, how'd you feel about the movie?
I thought the cinematography was great. You want me to get in depth or just my quick summary?
Let's go quick summary, and then we can kind of pick it apart a little bit.
I thought the cinematography was great.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful images. There was some questionable stuff at some points, but
Questionable in what
story
sense?
was like frames of the movie, like a drone
questionable
shot
framing.
going through these
Okay.
pillars that was like jerking everywhere, and it really took you out of the movie, and
Okay.
it was kind of weird. And then there was music was terrible. We'll get into that later. And I think that they did take it too far in some senses of realism.
Okay.
What about you, Danny?
So overall, I think it was a fine movie. I thought it was fine. It was a fine movie. It was an indie movie. I wouldn't say they had the greatest budget. When all was said and done, they had about 10 different locations they shot at. It really wasn't that many. I mean, it was like just over 10. So I thought the acting was, for the most part, fine. There were clearly some... The range on the actors was very different, but overall, I thought it was a
acting
good
was fun. Yeah.
a movie. There were some choices in there. Let's just talk about the music. I just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
The music kept going. It just kept going. And that, to me, we're only bringing this up because it really detracted from the overall story and ability to enjoy the movie.
And not only did it keep on going, but it was not good music.
Yeah.
It did not match the scenes. It wasn't. They did not hire a composer for this movie, and it is very evident that it's just stock music off of like.
But it's stock.
Vanto elements.
It's stock that didn't end.
Yeah.
Like there was
Just
music.
Imagine music that's terrible
not-
that doesn't stop.
All right, I
And how
was
painful that is.
I was talking to a friend about this today. It was sometimes in churches during the announcements, they'll have a person play pads in the background. And that's normally a bad idea because the announcements are more jovial and they're playing these really serious pads and it just doesn't a match to be just like, do pancake breakfast, y'all. It doesn't match. Now, but they don't play that during the sermon. So picture it's like a 40-minute sermon and there's someone in the background playing pads for the whole 40-minute sermon. At some point, you kind of stop and go, is she still playing pads? Like, are we still here? Are we still doing this? Why hasn't she walked off yet? Doesn't she know? Actually, I saw someone try and do that in a church service once.
Yeah.
They kept playing, and the pastor, because it was a teenage thing, and they just like kept playing because they didn't understand the directions. They kept playing to the point that the guy teaching said, and it would just take a minute, partner up in prayer. And he goes to talk to the piano player like, dude, quit. Like, I'm telling a joke and it's just all serious back there. Anyway, it was that for the entire movie, and it never let up, and it was so distracting for the whole thing. Yeah. And took away from the message of it, I thought.
Yep.
But the part I did appreciate that, I know I don't know if it's disagreement because I think I do agree, but I appreciate that they made an effort to not give kind of a sanitized Pure Flix story. I mean, Pure Flix would never host this because all the demons are in booty shorts and the devil slapped one of their butts one time.
Yeah. And there's cleavage showing, not the raw.
Right.
That makes me uncomfortable, that word, for some reason. Poor word choices. But, like, it's not nudity, but like it is showing a lot.
Yeah.
Just imagine walking down Miami, in Miami, like,
or East LA.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's very accurate to there.
It's accurate to East LA,
and I do appreciate that. Like, as a filmmaker, one thing that I would love to do is to make movies and not shy away from showing real characters. Like, what Christian movies are terrible about is it takes you out of the story because it's unrealistic to see all of these secular people, if you will, acting like Christians but bad, if you know what I mean. Like, if someone's a drug dealer, they're most likely they're gonna drop some cuss words. They're gonna They're gonna have tattoos. I don't know if you have a problem with that. They're gonna. I mean, they don't have to have tattoos.
Actually, at this point, they might just be a pastor. Statement.
Yeah. Like, they're not going to be perfect by any means.
Yeah. They're not going to be clean cut, or the thing that keeps going for some unknown cause is they're not going to be in a jean jacket and a bandana. Why are we still doing that? Like, why?
Yeah.
The 1920s called, they want Pony Boy back.
Yeah.
That's a dig of a reference. That is a...
But,
we're going way back.
If I write a character who is going through some rough stuff, let's just say he's going through some rough stuff.
Right.
He's into drugs.
Right.
He's having a lot of sex and stuff. Like, I'm going to portray that character as it would be seen in real life. That doesn't mean you have to show all of those things in excessiveness. That's
right, but you have to. But you have to acknowledge their presence.
Right. Yeah, you have to acknowledge their presence, and it needs to be real, and it needs to feel like it's actually part of their life. And that's what this movie did properly, I'd say. They did.
They probably took it a little too far on the 3 demon characters because them shorts was short and they went hanging out. Like, there was a lot of it. But,
that's where I would disagree. Is like the moment you go to the point where it's like temptation zone.
They maybe took it too far.
Yeah, like that's where I disagree. Is that I think they did take it too far. Like,
no, I'm in agreement on that. I'm just glad they didn't try and put them in kind of, they're wearing T-shirts out of Gap and Old Navy, but like, we're sassy and talk back to our parents. Yeah, like they were demonic characters. They had them firing guns at Christian figures at some point.
Yeah,
and I mean they were demons.
Yeah.
And they didn't try and clean that up or sanitize it.
Mm-hmm.
They did take it too far. I'll agree on that, because there were some parts I was like, this is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where, like, cut back as much as you can, not to where it's unrealistic, though.
Right.
Like, but
right.
to that point, like, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah. No, overall, the story, although it says it's about a homeless Latino kid in East LA, clear that kid is an angel, right? Like, yes.
I don't even remember the end of the movie, to be honest with you.
It just kind of stopped, to be honest. It just, I mean, it was clear there was some kind of spiritual authority there. They called it angel. They're not. They still didn't really make that super clear. He did spiritual things. I think they were trying to imply he had been close to an angel, but also they talked about his parents and the pastor. I don't know. That part I thought it was kind of confusing, but it's about him being called out by the demons who are selling drugs and killing people and making sacrifices of dogs and people. So, and then also there are these two cops trying to track down Angel for reasons not fully explained, other than they are
one of them thinks that he
cops.
did. One of the cops thinks that he did something that he didn't do. And and when they found the person who actually did the crime, he still didn't believe that, so he kind of went masked vigilante, not masked though, just vigilante style, chasing after the guy.
But overall,
for no reason.
They end up trying to battle their demons, both external in a metaphorical sense and internal from their past struggles, and trying to figure out their identity. And overall, I thought that it was fantastic.
Favorite character? The guy who owned the superstore.
Right, yeah. So he had like two scenes. It was Budget Cheech Marin is who it was. He's like, hey, I got you a bike. And you're like, wow, this guy's great. And you're not sure why. And to be honest, he doesn't like add anything other than flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was cool. But the angel character, overall, he's kind of a quiet type who's trying to stay pure, pursue God, and save his community by giving, even though he doesn't have a home. That was some really touching parts, I thought, that this character gave, not out of an abundance, but out of joyful giving. As in, a person gave him cookies, and he said, can I share them? And he gave them to a person begging for food on the street. And he's trying to find the pastor that took him in, that trained him up, all this kind of stuff, and at the same time battle these demons. And
the pastor that came out with a gun for no reason at all.
Yeah, they did not explain
what that was.
Erwin McManus was like, came out cocked and loaded, man.
I think he just wanted to do that.
East LA. He's like, can I get a gun? Yeah.
But, yeah.
So overall, I thought they did a good job of trying to portray the spiritual aspects of Christianity. One of the complaints I had about it was that they dove into too many of the Christian tropes that I didn't feel needed to be there. Racist cop on the edge kind of a thing, or just kind of cop on the edge who's skeptical. Yeah. It's like I've seen that in about 12 commercials from PureFlix who still thinks I'm interested. And in the whole thing...
Let's be honest, you are, Danny.
I am, but not for like... They will never want to sponsor us if I... Anyway,
Oh, don't say that, because if they...
We will take their money. We will take your money. Our sellout price is way low. But they had the cop who's skeptical and trying to find the hero and, trying to do that. I've seen that in many movies, and most of the time it's been Dean Cain doing it for some reason. The girl character in there, they mentioned her having an abortion. And that felt very forced in that there was no reason to do that, because this character never tackled her own demons or anything else. It was just taking a quick dig at abortion. Yeah. And not that I think abortion's okay. I think we've been pretty consistent on the podcast of abortion is wrong, and I feel that very strongly.
Mm-hmm.
But to have included that and say like, "Oh, I'm having abdominal pain," and then flash back to the procedure in the hospital, and then Angel goes, "God still loves you." It's like, I get
It's
what
all
they're
true.
going for.
It is all true. If you have had an abortion, God still loves you. There's
Absolutely.
nothing that can sever you from that.
Absolutely.
Um,
But that did
it was
nothing
just
for the
super-
movie. It was
yeah.
just like very forced.
yeah, it was very
So,
odd.
Yeah.
If you had to give this, what would be your star rating out of 5 stars?
I don't know, and I need to see it without the music to let you know.
No, as it is right now.
Oh,
what would you
out
give
of
it?
how many?
5.
2.5. Mainly because of the music. I'm just gonna be
Yep.
honest.
Yeah,
'Cause of
I
the
would
music.
give it 0. I'm dead serious about that.
Because
I
of the
have
music, like,
this app that
mhm.
somebody showed me this one time. Now I'm addicted to. It's called Letterboxd, and it's like rating films,
Mhm.
and it's like it's cool. But
Right.
yeah, it's out of 5 stars, and I would give it
Right.
0. And here's why. I think that they had a great budget for this film, and it's very evident. The costume design was fine.
I disagree about the budget.
Cinematography was way better.
I think
than,
they put their budget into the camera.
I mean, sets were good.
Yeah.
Audio was good. Everything was
Was
super
it?
professional, besides the music, and to the point where, like, if you can't even scrounge up, like, I don't care what it takes, get more money. I don't care who it is, even if it's like someone you hire for $500 off of whatever that one program is. Fiverr. Like, get someone to compose you
500er.
original music that follows the mood and the flow of the story.
Yeah.
And this could probably make a good, like,
Yeah.
3-star film.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I just don't have any. There's no room
Yeah.
for it. Even this, like, the stock music. There's a way to do it where, like, you can find these tracks
Right.
on a cheap budget that will match up fine. But to have it playing constant, it was just like
Yeah.
super rookie to have it playing all
Yeah.
the way through.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint that really detracted a lot. But overall, I thought it was I enjoyed it.
I can't get past the music.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, I mean,
can't.
if-
Cinematography.
If I'm filtering out that aspect, it became a really enjoyable a movie, and I had to try to do that. I had to intentionally, in my brain, mark that as white noise and filter it out,
Yeah.
which took a lot of brain power, and I couldn't focus on anything else. That was like
The cinematography is the only thing saving this movie from me giving it -1 star.
Yeah, like you already gave it 0.
But
And now the only other issue I had, and same problem I have on Doom, is this. It's come up in a lot of Christian movies that the devil is this omnipowerful OP character that can do anything unfiltered, unchained, and has this extreme amount of power. And that, I feel, is bad demonology. And that's a real word, not making that one up.
demonology.
A demonology. And if this character is an angel, then the amount of fear the quote-unquote angel displayed towards the devil was unscriptural. The coolest thing that ever happened in the Bible, and I forgot to pull this as a reference, and I apologize, but Jesus is talking about the wheat and chaff, and how talking about the angels are saying, it's like, well, all right, it's corrupt, it's okay to just burn it all down, and God goes, no, not yet. And he's not saying they can't do it or that they're incapable, or it's like, no, he's more powerful than us all, I must get him. He's like, no, just wait a minute, I'm still pulling out the wheat. After they've been sorted, burn that to the ground, go right ahead until it's been sorted. So and I've so many Christian plays and movies do this thing, that the demons are so powerful that it creates this artificial fear. I even growing up, there was a play I saw as part of a a trip our student group had gone to, that the demon character, the guy was crushing it as far as his performance. He was like, ha, 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 you think you own me? And I was like, all right, favorite actor, not favorite character, favorite actor. And the angel character had a moment of like, God, but like, what do I do? I just don't know. And I'm
no angels asking that.
all the angels are saying like, can I stab him in the face now? Is now good? And like 4 more minutes. Really want to stab him in the face.
Yeah.
Because the devil's disconnected from his power source. He is homeless, jobless, and powerless. The only power the devil has is power we give him.
Yep.
And creating this type of content, I think, creates a fear of Satan instead of a passion to pursue God and kind of ignore the devil.
Yeah, I think where it comes from what I've seen, is it just creates a better arc, story arc, because, like, in reality, this battle's already won. It's been won for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since it started, to be honest. Right. I mean, it's not a question about who's winning here.
Yeah, it was over the minute the devil went, I think I could do it better. You're out.
Yeah.
Like, toss you out of heaven. Loser. Yeah. But toss you out now and cave your skull in later.
Yeah, and it's literally like it's not reality, and like as they portrayed it in here, you know, like it is. Yeah, I would agree. Like it's portrayed way too. He's way too powerful.
Right.
And then I think it's mainly just for a character.
Yeah.
I mean, like
story
arc wise,
so many Christian things that have done this.
But
that I mean, I get the protagonist needs to have a struggle, but that's not the Christian story, and that's the part where Christian media becomes very difficult to do, because the Christian story isn't that there is this struggle between good and evil. It's like, no, Christ kind of did it.
Yeah.
We good.
I mean, I would agree in the sense that right now it feels like, that's a very important, it feels like there is this battle. And that's true, because we are still in our flesh, and we have to battle every day against what our internal grain is. We're going against the grain of everything we are, our flesh is.
Right.
You know? And I think that it feels like the battle isn't won. Right. And it's just a matter of perspective. And I'm not saying that like your life is going to be changed once you realize that Christ has already won. That's not always what happens. Dare I say ever what happens. I think that sanctification is a long, drawn-out process for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's part of God's plan.
Absolutely.
For us to realize His love and His grace for us. But, you know, like, I get the fact that it feels like... Once again, it feels like...
It does, and I appreciate that. But the basis of Christian hope comes in Christ's completed work.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Greek terms, because of the grammatical aspects, which is a super nerdy sentence, is tetelestai, because the actual grammatical aspects of it are... I figured... In my head, for a moment, everyone knows Greek, and that's not arrogant, and I apologize. It's more ignorant. Tetelestai is the thing Christ screamed out on the cross, going, "It is finished." Now, the grammatics of that are that this is completed action that is done, and the consequences of this action are still felt even to this day.
Yeah.
Everything Christ needs to do to defeat evil is done.
Yep.
And that is the basis of hope, because no matter how difficult things get, no matter the amount things feel dark, Christ is still in a place of having conquered all evil and death. And that even if I feel as if things are crumbling, I can still turn to Christ.
Yeah.
And I can still proclaim, hey, this stinks, and I still trust God in this, because I know my God did not fail. And although the devil traipses around as if he's all powerful, he knows he's already lost.
Yeah. And I mean, he can play off of things, and he can try and confuse us. I mean, the Bible literally says he came to steal, kill, and destroy.
Right.
And he is very
right.
conniving. Is that a word?
Yes.
And I mean, and that's true. And I think it all comes down to, like you're saying, just perspective.
Right.
Is really all it is now.
Right.
The more I read the Bible, the more I pray and grow closer to God, the bigger that window gets. The bigger you see that, like, the end goal and what has already happened. And it becomes super encouraging to know that it is finished.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, that's why it's so important to be in community, to read the Bible, to pray, is because it helps us. I mean, that's all it is like, I feel like I bring it up all the time. The vertical and horizontal. Got that flipped.
I didn't catch it. I'm like, something's off.
That we, if we are not looking up towards God,
right,
then we aren't focusing on Him,
right,
and that's where our perspective changes, and it feels like the devil's winning, and it feels like there's no hope, and only when we look to God, focus on Him, and that's when your perspective changes.
Absolutely, and I think that's the core of the two extremes of how Christians treat the devil that I find to be offensive and unscriptural. I mean, on the one end is they create this character that Christians cower in fear of, and you just don't find that biblically for people that have put their trust in Christ. The goal is cast out demons and put your eyes on Christ. It's pursue God, not be in fear of Satan. But on the other end, it's also not bring samurai swords and fight them off on your own. It's just keep eyes and pursue God, because the closer I get to God, the harder it is that the devil can come anywhere close to me. The devil knows he can't be in the presence of God until God beckons him to come, and even then he's like, super don't want to be here, boss. So if all my attention is in pursuing Christ, then I don't actually have to fight the devil. I think that honor is a thing Jesus is excited to do when he comes back, is to come down and say, I am, and it's over. And I think that's the thing that Jesus is pumped up, and he's in the corner of the boxing ring, excited to go in and just kind of one shot clock him out. Because it's not this like, oh, who's gonna win boxing thing. It's like, no, he's gonna hit him one time and it'll be over.
I think the best way to think about it, and not everyone is gonna watch this movie, nor should they. Depends on it.
I liked it.
No, not Angel. I'm talking about a different movie.
Okay.
Is the movie It. And I think the funny thing is it actually helped me a lot in my faith, because it is a lot like our faith, in the sense that Pennywise is this evil character that is fueled by fear, and that is the only, that's what he's trying to feast on.
Right.
And I mean, the devil is similar in many ways, but it's when the kids in the end, I'm sorry if you haven't watched this movie, but you should.
Or read the old book.
Yeah. But it's only when the kids realize that he's fueled by fear that they're able to not fear him anymore. And, and obviously, like, Christ isn't a factor in this, or there's no, like, that
it would have been
character.
A shorter movie.
But
let's go to church instead.
In the sense that, he dies because they don't fear him anymore. And that's the same. The devil is the same way. The moment you realize that Christ has won, and we don't have to listen to him or fear him anymore. Is the moment that he dies. And obviously, like, there's a lot of grading to that. Like we were talking about, in the sense that it happens overnight, but like to be honest, that's what sanctification is, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I think I hope it does for you.
I think our understanding of it grows over time. But if the Spirit is in me, that it means a Christian doesn't need to be concerned about demon possession because, I mean, that would be the same thing.
You don't want to come near you
as a drug dealer going to a police officer's house and knocking on the front door. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you in there, bro? You like, what are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my house, you know. So, but I do think though that maintaining the hope in difficult times is based in the understanding that Jesus has defeated death. And that's very important.
Yeah.
Can I talk about why I wanted to talk about this and watch this movie?
Yes.
Okay, so here's why I wanted to do this. Because I found the story about 2 months ago. The main character in there, he used to be a Disney Channel star and then in a boy band. Neither
Really?
of which, yeah, they were actually formed on one of the talent shows with a buzzer where the three of them auditioned individually.
What is the name of the band?
Forever in Your Mind. It's not my cup of tea, mainly because I don't like pieces of garbage in my tea. No, no, I'm kidding. I am not their target audience. Sorry, I'm stealing a joke from Aziz Ansari, and I apologize. That I am not their target demographic for that music. Gosh, that was way too harsh. I totally didn't mean that.
Gosh.
That felt bad.
That hurt me, and I haven't even listened to this.
It's teenage boy band music, and that's just not my speed. I'm not the target audience. I am, I wasn't then, and I'm not now. And he was also a Disney Channel star. So then a thing kind of happened in September of 2019 that he came out and told his story that the manager allegedly, and we're going to say allegedly a lot, just in case someone decides to pick this up. His manager, according to Garcia, groomed him for sexual abuse between the ages of 12 and 17, took him to multiple parties, got him blackout drunk, and then he woke up in bed with his manager in the nude, and
buck naked.
Yeah, and didn't tell anyone until he was about 19. And at that point they contacted the manager, the manager's boss, all that kind of stuff. And instead of handling it, it appears allegedly that many people are sweeping it under the carpet instead. There were, as the story goes, there had been multiple parties that they said parents are not okay to go to. It's just the kids and the managers and everything else. There was alcohol. They'd give them a lot of alcohol. They'd pass them around, and there's memories he doesn't have because of that. So then on top of that, when they tried to press charges, essentially nothing happened. The manager is still employed at the company despite the allegations, which are just allegations at this point. He was also in charge of Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and Asher Angel out of Shazam. And I think at this point, Finn fired him. Asher did not. So this person is still, despite the allegations, permitted to maintain children-based clients. And because nothing had been done, the mom is pressing charges against the manager, the talent agency, Disney, Viacom, all that. That's also in charge of a lot of news stations kind of close to. I think they're in charge of CNN, NBC, and a couple others, as far as the overhead company goes. So she's pressing charges against all of them, a lot of media branches, and the LAPD for failure to act after giving a case about child molestation. So I wanted to talk about this mainly because no one is talking about it, and that kind of made me mad. Because this is if the allegations are true, still covered. This is the willful destruction of innocence that is abhorrent in the eyes of the Lord. Period. People oftentimes they talk about the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they try and connect that to being gay or homosexuality or any of that. And I don't think that's a fair understanding of that passage. The problem of that passage is that the angel of the Lord comes, or actually he went to Gomorrah and they were in Sodom. So two angels are in Sodom. The angel of the Lord goes to Gomorrah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And it was a rough area, and the men said, hey, give us those two strangers so we might know them. And a know in this case is a euphemism for rape them, essentially. And in answer to that, they go, no, don't take the angels, go ahead and take my daughter instead, because at this point she is still pure. And the angels then go,
burn this place to the ground.
I'm sorry? No, it's like, oh no, that ain't, no.
Yeah.
We'll go out there instead, you just grab some stuff and go. And if anyone turns around, you're going to die too. And it said, rain down fire and sulfur from above and just demolish this town. Yeah. And I don't think it's because, they were engaging in homosexual behaviors. Like, no, they were willfully destroying innocence. And that, as a Christian, we have a task to protect the innocent. I mean, our task is to care about the people that can't care for themselves. As it tells us in Proverbs 31, 8 through 9, it tells us this: to open our mouth on behalf of the mute, for the rights of all that are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteous, and defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And to this actor that opened up and called out a thing that they're kind of suspecting is a child pedophilic ring, we should be, allegedly a child pedophilic ring, sorry, we should be supporting that. And it just made me mad that no one said anything. I stumbled across an article just kind of poking through the internet, and I don't know, man, it just... that one really got me mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's terrible, and like multiple ways, obviously, but like you said, the destruction of innocence,
willful.
Willful. Yeah, like not even unintentional. I mean, that part matters. Yeah. Intentional destruction of innocence. Shouldn't be tolerated in any means. And I think that's not only like a Christian belief. That's very many non-Christians hold that too. Like it is almost inside of us to protect children, to have this.
I mean, apparently it's not though. We got Epstein.
For some people. Yeah, I mean there's, but I mean also I feel like it's inside of all of us not to murder people, and people murder people as well. There's always exceptions, but I believe that, like, I mean, I've only heard, I don't have any kids, but like when you have your first kid, like you will kill somebody. If they, and that's just ingrained inside of us, even in animals too. Like, you do not mess with the children.
Oh, not all animals. There's some weird stories.
I probably.
Some of them are like, no, you can take the kids, whatever.
But like killer whales is one I think of. Like, if you want to die.
But that's I mean, people can make a claim that it's based in some Darwin-based evolutionary model or something, and I don't think that's accurate. I think it's based in there is this internal call to something greater than ourselves that everyone has, even if they can't understand its origin. But its origin comes out of a understanding of good and bad that can only come out of God. If there is no God, then there is no basis for good or evil. And then that becomes okay. Because if there isn't an absolute good, then there is an absolute evil, and then everything is on a sliding scale, and that becomes okay. And it's not okay. And this poor guy, he just turned 21, is still battling through this and just the consequences of that.
Yeah.
And I just have the most of sympathy because it took a lot of bravery to do the thing he did, to call out a lot of Hollywood elites. I mean, the first article I found, it was the kid's mom, and boy howdy, she dropped some names.
Yeah.
And had no problem doing that, and that takes a lot of bravery to do that, and I 100% support them in this.
Yeah. I mean, it's, of course we should support it. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't think anyone.
Yeah.
It's just a whole.
Right.
There's something just almost like taking something away from them.
Yeah.
You know, their childhood is just ruined now, and that's. A lot of us, we get to look back on our childhood as fond memories, and I'm sure that he still has some fond memories, of course, but like to cut that off early and to do that is just terrible. Right. And I will say, I mean, it's always hard, but like we need to have grace for those people. It's legally not okay. So
it's morally
there's
not
going
okay,
to I mean, it's morally not okay. But I believe there are consequences on earth, jail, for sure. So people not liking you anymore, for sure. But Jesus has called us to love the people who are unlovable.
And if that, see, part of the reason I want to talk about it is because LAPD did nothing. Yeah. That's the problem I'm having, is that at this point it became a problem of all the systems in place to protect children phoned this one in hard. Right. And that is a problem, to the point that we need to be speaking out against this kind of thing, because this is the opportunity that when the justice system fails, when it does this thing, it is okay to bang some pots and make a little noise in the process. Yeah. 100%. And to pray over even complete strangers that they can come to Christ and get the grace of his healing touch. Because that's, he's now in the middle of 5 or 6 really big legal battles that will keep going for a while, and he will have to drag these memories out every single time they have to go through it.
And that's painful. I mean, that's not great.
Yeah. I do enjoy the point that you made, which I'm probably not doing super great on, of showing grace to the manager, but like
it's hard to the point where I don't even know how to do that.
Right.
I mean, nor am I in the position to do that. But I think the easiest way to do that is just to pray for everyone in this situation. Yeah. Because as Christians, I don't care what you believe, God has called us to love everybody, and that means everybody. So I don't care what high horse you're on, get off it and pony up. So
sometimes for these kinds of things, the best I can do in prayer, I'm just going to be honest and transparent in this. Sometimes the best I can do is, God, just whatever. Yeah. Whatever. I know what I want, and you know what I want, and we both know I shouldn't say it. So do what you got to do.
Yeah. I think this brings up a good point too. Something I've seen recently, and I even struggle with myself, is just forgiveness. And straight up, I've just heard so many stupid excuses on why we shouldn't forgive this specific person because they did this, and I understand it takes time for people to work through these things when people have harmed you or someone you love, in whatever means it is, emotional or physically. And as Christians, it's hard, but I pray that you would actively and intentionally seek forgiveness for those people. And it's not easy all the time, and maybe it will be, but do not make any excuses. I understand it's hard, and if you want to say that, that's fine, but that you're working through it. But just recently I've seen so much just bull on
it's political season, of course you have.
On why why I'm not going to forgive this person or that person, and just that is the opposite of what Christ called us to do. Right. And it makes me question everything.
They put conditions on the offering of any kind of forgiveness well, they have to apologize or they have to demonstrate that they've done any of those things. And when compared to how Christ did it, that's not how that happened. The offer of forgiveness came long before the apology. It's Christ died on the cross, and now we are even capable of turning to him and repenting of our sin. And that's kind of the thing that I've tried to teach a few people also, is that like offering, from my perspective, offering that to a person has nothing to do with them. It is about me choosing to not cling to a hurt, and instead to put it at the foot of the cross and say, God is sovereign, and in the end, God's going to be the judge of all things. And so I'm giving this to God because he's a better judge than I'm going to be, and I'm not going to count this thing that they did, as horrifying as it may be, against them, because it's not my place to do that, because Christ has forgiven me of so much more.
I mean, and it's
I'm
just
not saying that's easy.
It's not easy.
It's the
even
hardest
for, like,
dumb thing
small
you'll do.
Stuff too. I mean, and it's
harder for small stuff.
But it's
I
just
can at
sad
least
to
feel
see
self-righteous for the other stuff.
see like relationships torn apart, whether it's in like families, friendships, or whatever, just because of us not willing to give that up. And I think that, to be honest with you, like that's the number one thing that I've seen in Christianity, at least in the circles I'm in, is just I'll give everything else up.
Right.
Everything else is okay to talk about except forgiveness. Like, no, that person's not. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Are you crazy? You know what they did to me? And it's like, I get it, but it's time to give that to God. Right. And I'm speaking to myself as well. So don't think I'm talking on some podium, because I'm not. I'm down there with you guys, and like it's hard, but it's just been frustrating for me to see. But
until then, I would encourage people to be praying about not only about all these cases, because they have the opportunity to, or they have the potential to reshape an entire area, and call out some major evils that have gone swept under the carpet. So, man, be in prayer about all this. And then the other part is, like, I'm in children's ministry at this point, and to think that there are kids trying to be famous on YouTube, they have their own channels, and it feels hypocritical anytime I tell them don't do that, because some of you are watching this on YouTube. Actually, even for you starting the podcast at 17, I was very careful to not even say your last name until you turned 18, just for some kind of protection of it. It was not possible to send an email to you until you turned 18, just for protection. But and now you're over 18, whatever. No, but that's just gonna backpedal everything I did there. But just this idea of our strategy at this point needs to change from trying to shield our kids on ever encountering any of this, and instead teach them how to stand up and fight against it. Because of the saturation of aspects of culture, especially early teen kids, we can not pretend that they're never going to be offered drugs, porn, or anything else. We have to, at this point, for their own sake, just
shelter them. Put a box around them. Don't let them out. Don't let them see the light of day.
Every kid who I've seen that done to them have...
Yeah, no, it's not good.
They have fallen into the most stuff I've ever seen.
Right? Because it's crazy.
They have no comprehension of any of it. They just know fire bad. But the problem in telling a person fire bad is that they start to go, well, why is it bad? I'm going to try it out. Teach them how to fight instead of try and shield them from the culture. You protect the innocents by arming them with truth and empowering them to grow in their faith, because some kids are going to grow up and be actors in sports. Actually, I know a few that, man, they stand a real chance of being professional sports athletes, and there's just part of the brain that goes, oh, please don't.
Yeah.
You know, like, please don't do this so I don't have to watch this unfold with people I know. Please don't do that. But instead of kind of fearing in that kind of a manner and giving more power to the devil, I think all of us can go, hey, our God is greater, and demons don't carry that kind of power. And because of that, I can empower children to pursue God, to understand good, evil, and understand how they're going to be tempted, in order that when they can pursue God with everything they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway, I just...
Yeah.
soapboxy for the last 20 minutes, and I apologize.
No, you're fine. And I think that this kind of bringing in the point of, like, child dedication, too, I think is really important, you know, to get your church family together and to pray for your child. Yeah. And I know it's, like, even just from at my church when we do child dedications, like, you know, committing to pray for them and that their faith when they grow up would not be, you know, weak. And that's the main thing you can do is just pray and dedicate your child.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Do not sprinkle them or baptize them. I'm just kidding. Wow. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't agree with that.
What?
They don't have the same views as I do.
We're at an hour. We can't.
Oh no! I just opened a can of worms.
Toilet. Hold on. Child infant baptism will go in the idea toilet.
Don't worry about it. You didn't hear what I just said.
Child.
Can we cut this out?
Hey, Caleb. Caleb, if they're interested in sending us a message, which we really enjoy, how can they do that while I type in the idea toilet?
Go to thegospel.com/nobodyspecial. You can find our podcast there, and but also go to the bottom of the page and you can ask us questions, say hello. We love when you say hello. You know, it's super awesome to hear from you guys. So you can also go to...
Actually, one came in. Go back down. One came in. Now you have to do that. One came in. Thank you, Cord. Caleb and I got the message and super appreciate the shout out. So, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Thank you for writing us in.
Yeah, that was awesome to hear from you.
Also, we are not on Twitter, unfortunately, but Caleb, we are on other places.
Yes.
Where are we?
Arise Instagram and Facebook graphic that podcast listeners don't know what we're talking about.
We are on Nobody Special Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, so give us a like. Sorry.
And follow.
I'm just thinking of the Joe Biden quote right now. I'm sorry. Like, I'm Joe Biden. Give me a like. Sorry, we're getting too political. No, he said that thing in South Carolina. I was like, my name's Joe Biden. I'm running for Senate in 2020. So just give me a look. If you like what you see, vote for me. If you don't, vote for the other guy. But just give me a look, okay? And everyone went like, what? Joe's getting old. Anyway,
follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can message us there also and ask questions. Also on YouTube, subscribe if you want to, and comment,
gently ding the bell,
ring the bell, and
YouTube needs more things to do.
Yeah, does it?
There's a lot of things. Raise the flag, ding the bell.
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys and listening, and you know it's awesome to hear from you and interact with you, and just know that there's people that are consuming this, and hopefully that God is teaching you through this, and that it's obviously not from our skills or us talking, but through the Holy Spirit, and that's the main reason for sure. But we appreciate you guys. I think that's gonna be it for us today.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are Nobody Special.